Hello, Google.
Hey or okay?
That's something from
Google.
the alphabets.
You have to say hey Google or okay.
Hey, Google. Okay, Google.
Mommy, I've been thinking of something I want to talk to you about.
What's the problem?
Okay, so I don't think I want to get married. Like at all.
That's fine.
No, seriously.
What do you expect me to do or what do you expect me to say? Am I the one that want to marry you? Are you breaking my ass?
No, but...
So why do you want my opinion? Leave me alone.
I'm pretty sure that this is a prank for TikTok, but the reaction of the mother is genuine and is a representation of how the world is changing so fast that many of us can't really keep up with it. And in this particular case, this is a mother basically being told that her bloodline is going to stop with her child. And prank it might be, she doesn't take it very well because she believes that the traditions that she's used to should continue. And so how do you square that circle is probably one of the biggest problems of our generation.
I am the king in my castle. The king, Norton.
Did you know that South Korea broke its own record as the country with the lowest fertility rate in the world? The government has been trying to boost its birth rate by offering over $1,600 to parents of babies born in 2022. But is this enough for Koreans to actually want to have more babies? Not just Korea, but Japan and China are facing similar issues when it comes to record-dropping birth rates.
Declining birth rates in East Asia come to no surprise to anyone paying attention. From China at 1.7 all the way down to Korea at 1.08. And more recent stats show South Korea having a birth rate at 0.78 for the year 2022. Now, there are some that contribute these things to things like male oppression and men not acting correctly. And if you don't believe me, take a look.
Have you guys heard of the 4B movement in South Korea? The women of South Korea's 4B movement aren't fighting the patriarchy. They're leaving it behind entirely. There's been a small but growing women's movement in South Korea in response to widespread cases of feminism, revenge, and dating violence, and a surge in spy cam crimes overwhelmingly committed by... You already knew.
This is an example of how quickly the internet moves and how powerful it is, as well as how much it has shaped our lives, because now narratives like these go around the world at the speed of the internet. It's also oversimplifying a very complex problem, but again, most people don't see problems in a gray manner. They see black or white. And in this particular case, she pretty much says they're not doing it because men are not very good people.
And several women's movements were created in response, like the 4B movement. 4B is shorthand. Bihan is the refusal of a heterosexual marriage. Bichosan is the refusal of childbirth. Biyonye, damn my Korean is good, is saying no to dating. And bisexual is the rejection of heterosexual sexual relationships. Many in the 4B movement believe this is the only path with which Korean women today can live autonomously. In their view, Korean men are essentially beyond redemption. Where have I heard that before?
I could show you the comments, but I'm pretty sure you have a good idea of the flavor of those comments. Instead, let's listen to the Korean people themselves. Why do you think the birth rate just keeps dropping? There can be negative effects that women face due to pregnancy, or maybe the current housing market, or costs involved in raising a child, or the number of people getting married increasing. They can all be factors. Young people these days don't want to sacrifice themselves. And there are so many recreational choices nowadays. So people want to enjoy themselves. I think that stems from the idea of enjoying the now, becoming stronger and changing to live a more self-centered life. People say that raising kids can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So with that kind of money, they might think it's more worth it to get married and just enjoy life with their partner. There are many gender issues these days. Couldn't that be a factor too? They attack each other and it gets too heated, and men and women end up hating each other. As a result, more people are vowing not to marry. And I think it's especially severe in Korea. I think financial issues play a part. Korea has continuously been a high-growth society. My children are able to enjoy way more economic freedom than when I was younger. but to live a married life in accordance with their high standards is basically impossible. They'll have a house that's smaller than the one they're living in now. All the electronics and furnishings will be somewhat less than they used to. Having to start at a different point is not something they have experienced, so they may not want to make that choice.
I rule my kingdom. Alice is just a mere peasant girl.
What's happening in Korea is very similar to what's happening in China and Japan, and is clearly being mirrored in America now with Canada and many American young people getting out of college, or you hit the job market and the salaries and the amount of lifestyle that you can afford with the salaries that are available just does not buy the kind of lifestyle that many people either see on social media or replicate the kind of lifestyle that they see in their parents. For many American people, they look at rents now, and rents are much more expensive per percentage of your income compared to what they would have been for our parents or for our parents' parents. And this is also mirrored in the prices of homes. You see prices of homes in the 1970s that are cheaper than, well, a year's worth of car payments today. And this is actually being replicated in Asia. This is the main issue. For young people, one, life is more expensive. And when they want to have kids, that makes life even more expensive, because you don't have kids as a plaything. You have kids that you invest in. That means after school programs, going to supplementary educational programs, going to night school and cram school. This can be seen even in America. According to the USDA, the average cost of raising a child is $230,000. And that doesn't include college. It doesn't include extracurricular activities like music lessons or sports. And it doesn't include supplemental educational aid like night school prep, or JUCO as we call it.
Oh, hiya, sweetheart.
Hi, Ralph.
Hey, that's a mighty friendly way to talk to a peasant.
So why does this matter?
I have a very simple explanation that cuts to the heart of the issue. Here it is. The reason why most marriages fail is because marriage is inherently a very humble institution. And because of its fundamental humility, it cannot support all the extra that people are subject to piling on top of that institution. Marriage is just not designed to support more than what it was built to do. And at the end of the day, what a marriage was built to do is to provide a context for people to come together and raise children.
There is something you wanted to tell me, isn't there? Oh, mighty king of the castle?
Okay, Google.
What's the weather?
Yeah.
What's the weather, ask?
What the weather? You want to know what is the weather?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
In Flagler Beach tomorrow, there will be showers with a high of 65 and a low of 56.
This is a very interesting TikTok because it's a representation of the old meeting the new. In this case, the old would be a woman who's married, she's a grandmother, and she probably lived a mostly analog life of watching the morning news and reading the morning newspaper and watching Dan Rathers at night and drinking Folgers coffee. Meeting the new, which is a smart speaker attached to the Wi-Fi, which can answer pretty much any question she asks it. For the duration of her life, her directions were relatively simple: get married, have kids, buy a house, and retire. But in the internet age, things have gotten much more complex and much more expensive. And so the only way to counteract the forces that are pushing apart from these things that would have been done normally in another time and era is to have a strong culture of family and marriage. Because if those forces are not strong enough, you can't fight all of the forces: inflation, cost of living, options in terms of dating, the myriad of options that are pulling relationships apart. The best way, I believe, in my opinion, to find a relationship that's going to last is to find someone that's firmly entrenched in a culture that values marriage. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.